Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Emergency kind of press conference, if you don't mind, here on our YouTube channel and In the Car with Star, proudly brought to you, as always, by Ash Gregoire, Chamonix, Little Bear Pet Store, littlebearonline.com, and Chiefs Convenience, Highway 132 in Ganawage, open 7 days a week. Get them now. Get all your snacks loaded up now as I come to you live, emergency press conference style, on our YouTube channel in the aftermath of Super Wildcard Weekend in the National Football League coming to an end with two games today starting at 4:30. It's Pittsburgh at Buffalo, the snowy game postponed until this afternoon, and then the late game has the Philadelphia Eagles at Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers offense struggling down the stretch. And we can say the same for the Philadelphia Eagles, who once upon a time, my friends, were 10-1 and then proceeded to lose 5 of their next 6 games down the stretch, limping to the playoffs. On the other side, you have Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense that scored 13 points in Week 17, scored a total of 9 points in Week 18 to go into their home game against Philadelphia as modest 2-point favorites. It's going to be fascinating to see how this game kind of shakes itself out based on the results that we saw from the weekend, stretching from Saturday right through last night with the Detroit Lions barely getting by thanks to some help from the officiating in a 24-23 win over the visiting LA Rams as the Detroit Lions win a playoff game for the first time in 32 years. So we're all set to go. I have no idea. I'm not going to lie. I'm very open, very honest, and I have no idea how I think the Eagles and Bucks game is going to play itself out because, as I mentioned, the Eagles are reeling, the Bucks offense is struggling, and then we learn, obviously, as we did last week, that Jalen Hurts has a busted up finger, really hasn't thrown a football that much, certainly not with a good amount of regularity. The same for wide receiver A.J. Brown, who is out for this game tonight. So what are the Eagles going to do? How are they going to manufacture offense? Well, they're going to run the ball. Guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles are very good at running the ball, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are better at stopping it. The Bucs going with the 5th-ranked rush defense in the National Football League. But what does that all mean? What does it all mean, knowing what we saw on the weekend, knowing the reputations that the Dallas Cowboys have, knowing the reputation the Cleveland Browns have? Well, guess what? Both of those teams got absolutely curb-stomped. The Cleveland Browns had the best defense in the National Football League going into their wildcard game at Houston. C.J. Stroud does nothing but reset rookie records in the National Football League for quarterbacks. This guy tied the rookie touchdown record in a playoff game in the first half with 3 TDs. So you tell me what to expect going into Philadelphia at Tampa Bay today. The Dallas Cowboys, do I need to remind anybody? The Cowboys, my friends, were 8-0 at home, whooping opponents by more than 21 points per game, the average margin of victory. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys were so good at home, they were 16-0 until Jordan Love and Aaron Jones rolled up on the scene and then busted out a 27-0 lead. So you tell me what's going to happen. You know, the Dallas Cowboys played 3 playoff games at the Jones Mahal this season, and they won them all. They beat the Eagles. They beat the Lions. They beat the Rams, and were complete no-shows yesterday in their wild card game at home against Jordan Love, making his playoff debut. And he just lit them up. The Cowboys defense, the vaunted Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, genius. He had nothing. The Dallas Cowboys had nothing. And so, the question is, do you put this more on the players failing to execute? Or do we look at this and say, you know what? This is more on the coaching staff. This is more on the defensive coordinator. This is more on the offensive schemes. This is more on Mike McCarthy than it is anybody else. And I'll tell you, Mike McCarthy, as far as I'm concerned, is deserving of most of the criticism here. The very pass-happy Dallas Cowboys were very content on second down with running the ball. Man, they did it with regularity in the second quarter of that football game yesterday. They ran the ball on second down, I think, 6 consecutive times for a total of 8 yards. And only when they started to pass the ball a little bit more frequently on second down did they start to move the chains. But by that point, the game was over. The game was over. And you saw very conservative play calling. You saw Dak Prescott looking jittery, looking panicky at times, looking very indecisive, not sure what to do with the football. And these are all problems. This is why you have guys like Cam Newton coming here and talking about game managers. Game managers. How many game breakers are there? Dak Prescott didn't show it. Tua Tagovailoa didn't show it. Hell, look at the Green Bay Packers, who won the coin toss, took the ball, marched the length of the football field, and scored a touchdown. I mean, these guys were committed, they were ready, and they were dialed in. And that's how you win football games. And everybody else is scratching their head wondering, what do we do now? What do we do now? So your guess is as good as mine as to what we think we're going to see starting at 4:30 with Buffalo hosting Pittsburgh. Yes, I do think the Bills win. And I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home to get by the Philadelphia Eagles, who look like, and lots of people around that team that cover that team suggest that might be an issue with the coaches and the players for a team that was a year removed from a Super Bowl finals appearance, losing to Kansas City last year in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, drama in the always exciting National Football League. On the other side of the coin are the Montreal Canadiens, who wrap up a 3-game homestand tonight, taking on the Colorado Avalanche at 7 o'clock on TSN 690 with Jake Allen in goal. And Allen hasn't played in the last 4 games. His last start was Jan 4 when he got curb stomped by the Buffalo Sabres. And, a lot of people like to talk about Jake Allen, got to get in. Jake Allen doesn't have to play. It's not the YMCA pickup league. This is not house league. You don't have Jake Allen's parents in the stands crying to the coach that their son doesn't play. This is the big leagues. And I hate to say it because, I like to have a good time. I like to keep it positive. I like the direction for the most part the Montreal Canadiens are taking. But when it comes to the old adage of, well, Jake Allen's got to play, Jake Allen doesn't have to play. Jake Allen doesn't have to play. And spare me the whole line of thinking. I don't buy it. The whole, well, you got to showcase him. You got to show him to the rest of the league. Jake Allen's been in the National Hockey League for a minute. Jake Allen was, let's go all the way back to the Q. Jake Allen was a starting goaltender for the Montreal Juniors and got traded to the Drummondville Voltigeurs under the coaching of Guy Boucher many, many years ago. And it didn't work then. And then Jake Allen made Team Canada as their starting goaltender when he was still a Montreal Junior in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And with Team Canada, it didn't work. And then Jake Allen got drafted into the National Hockey League, and well-deserved, he earned it. And then became a starting goaltender in the National Hockey League with the St. Louis Blues. And that didn't really work out because Jordan Binnington came in, and Jordan Binnington was the goaltender of record that won the Stanley Cup with St. Louis. And Jake Allen has his name on the Stanley Cup. But my point remains, Jake Allen has been a goaltender at a very high level for a very long time. And I have a hard time believing that there's a general manager in the National Hockey League that says, you know what, guys, I kind of like Jake Allen, but let me see him. Let me go see him tonight against Colorado. I really don't think it works that way. If you like Jake Allen, you know everything there is to know already about Jake Allen. Jake Allen, I think, is a phenomenal pro. I think he's a great teammate. I think he's someone that if he wanted to, could be a coach at the NHL level. And I think an organization would be lucky to have him. I really do. I think he's a salt of the earth kind of guy. And he's also a great golfer, by the way. So the testament of his character is very credible when we see this guy knocking around the links. But, at this level, I just don't have a lot of time for the conversation of he's got to play. And certainly I don't have a lot of time for the conversation or the point of you got to showcase him to the National Hockey League. Jake Allen is Jake Allen, and he's the confirmed starter tonight against Colorado, where the Canadiens wrap up a 3-game homestand. A very busy week for Montreal. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday after tonight, the next 3 games on the road. So they play 3 games at home. They lose to San Jose. They lose to Edmonton. And then I presume they're going to probably beat Colorado today because you get your pants whooped by the worst team in hockey and one of the worst teams in modern history in San Jose, who, remember, came to Montreal losers of 12 in a row. And then they took it to the Canadiens all night. And then the better Edmonton Oilers, who were here on Saturday, winners of 9 in a row, and set a new franchise record with 10 consecutive victories when they beat Montreal in overtime with that power play marker from Bouchard. That the Canadiens, as you've seen, as I've seen, have a tendency of rising to the occasion. And a lot of people ask me, why do I think that is? Here's my answer. I think the Canadiens are an immature hockey team. And when I say immature, it's not like, they're dropping water balloons from the 5th floor of the Ritz-Carlton down on unsuspecting people and then running away and giggling like schoolgirls. What I mean by that is I don't think the Montreal Canadiens, on the ice anyway, have a leader, that has someone that can stand up, cliche talk now, take the bull by the horns and say, this is how we're playing tonight. And I think that's why we see a team like Edmonton that is ready to contend for hardware, that is ready to make a deep playoff run this spring and into the summer, that they can come in with McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and everybody else and say, this is how we're playing tonight, either keep up or get left behind. And you've seen that many times. Why is it the Montreal Canadiens have had success against the Winnipeg Jets. They've beaten Winnipeg twice. The Winnipeg Jets have the most points in the National Hockey League today. Why is it the Montreal Canadiens struggle against a team like San Jose, for example? I think it's because they don't have leaders. Not yet, anyway. And when I say immaturity, there isn't anybody on the Canadiens that's going to say, okay, San Jose's in town. This is where they're weak. Here's an opportunity for us to go in and exploit it. And the Canadiens go out and set the pace. I don't think they have that yet. I think the Canadiens are a counterattack team. I think they're a counter-punch team, not someone that comes in like Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers yesterday that says, give me the ball. We've went through our walkthrough. We know the 6 plays we're going to run, and then we're going to see in the end zone for a touchdown. I don't think the Canadiens operate that way. I think they wait to see what Colorado's going to bring to them tonight, and they're going to have their hands full. They got Nate McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Jonathan Drouin on one line. Jonathan Drouin has 10 goals and 24 points this season. What did he have, 28 last year with the Canadiens in close to 60 games? Drouin is having a comeback season, 10 goals and 14 assists for 24 points. And Drouin scored his 10th of the season in Toronto when the Avalanche were down 0-3 to the Leafs and came back and won that game at a 5-3 final. So fascinating to see what happens the rest of the way with Jake Allen, the confirmed starter on goals. We're getting that much closer to the NHL trade deadline. So Habs and Avalanche tonight. Canadiens are off Tuesday, back in action Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday in Boston, a Saturday night in Beantown. Thanks for watching. As always, you can like, subscribe. It certainly helps the channel and helps me, and you can support me by supporting all my sponsors. Little Bear Online, get all your pet food delivered to you on budget and on time. LittleBearOnline.com. Check them out in Westmount, on St. Catherine, across from Alexis Neon Plaza. If you're in the area, if not, don't worry. You can stay home. Hit up littlebearonline.com and get all your pet's needs, because they care about your pet and its needs as much as you do. And I mean that because I shop there. And go see my friends, Highway 132 in Ganawage. It's Chief's Convenience, open 7 days a week. You know, everyone talks about it, and we all deal with it. I deal with it. You deal with it too. Did you do groceries this weekend? Did you check your bill? Have you seen the latest from that big box store that the Mr. Weston owns? Did you see what they're doing? You know those about to expire food items, and they slap a bright orange 50% off coupon? That 50% is, the reduction has been reduced from 50 to 30%. They don't make enough money? Are you kidding me? That's why I partner with local shops that aren't at the request of shareholders and profitability. Everybody has to eat. I get it. We don't do this for free. But my friends at Chief's Convenience make life affordable and make grocery shopping and snack shopping and beverage shopping and vape shopping and Zippo shopping all very accessible and, most importantly, affordable to people like you and me. Highway 132 in Ganawage. It's Chief's Convenience. Tell them In the Car with Star sent you. We'll see you later this week, all right? Peace.